Hello, everybody. It is Babe and I back once again for another amazing episode of whatever we're doing here. The ASC live stream. Should we be out like this where you can see more of us, or do people want to see us up and close?
Well, depends on how scared they want to be.
I guess, or if you like watching on a phone or something like that. But yeah, so it's been about a month since we've been on here, and it's skirting right in here at the end of February. So, what's been new with you, Babe?
I'll say the same old things, but I was thinking about it when we're loading here. My daughter, who is working at being a professional mermaid, had some photos like professionally done at a mermaid get together thing. Mermicon or whatever they call them. I don't want to sound like that person, but
will they be a school of mermaids?
It could be. Technically, they had classes there.
Well, there you go.
There you go. But yeah, and they come out really good. It was really neat to see my daughter do that. Yeah.
Was that with the ones that you had? I think you had liked or shared or something along those lines. I saw something. Some mermaid.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Actually, she is. We can, if she wants some publicity here, we can drop her. Well, it's mermaid. What is it?
ARTEMA, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So here we'll drop her Instagram, mermaid Artema. Mm-hmm. Let's give her a little publicity here and drop her in the. I hope if I can find how to do that. There's her Instagram for anybody that wants to go follow that. And yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nothing like following your passion and doing something cool with it.
She is. I'm excited for her.
Oh, cool. And yeah, I mean, Babe and me were talking for like 45 minutes before on here, so we kind of caught up on a bunch of different stuff. And Babe also we meet once a week and shop about ASC and what's going on there, which I'll get into a little bit later. But really, this was more Babe's idea on this topic here when we were talking about what we're going to do for live streams over the next couple months and stuff along those lines. And we are trying to bring Abigail back. She definitely wants to be involved, and so we've got an idea for her, and I told her to start working on it. So maybe March, she'll be back for that one. We'll see if we can get everything wrapped up and to get in time, if I can speak. But for tonight, Babe had seen this thing about. I guess you can go ahead and explain it, Babe.
For the cameras?
Yeah.
So, for the longest time, we had links to different live stream things here, and I was looking for one day, and I come across a site that was called Ocean Eyes, and I thought it was an app, but it's oceaneyes.app through the computer, and I got the look at it, and it just had a handful of them, so I don't know if they plan on adding more, but then they've got some information and stuff on the website too, ocean-based stuff. But I tell you what, it's the cost of the camera equipment and running it now is a lot less than what it used to be. And so there seems like an uptake in underwater footage now, where before it was getting really hard to find just because of the cost of it. I figured was killing people to have it there all the time.
Yeah, it's one thing we talked about. I don't know. It's been what we were talking beforehand. I have no sense of time. We're talking about games. There's a game I thought I just played last year, but it said I hadn't played it for like 2 years. So I don't know. I could have said this 5 years ago now at this point in time. I don't know. That's, I guess, part of the problem of getting old. You have no sense of time anymore. I don't know. But I also had the idea for a cool thing, more of like a project that could be a financial thing too. But, partner with Starlink, and you get like a little buoy with a Starlink on there, like a fish feeder and a cam, and people can pay to feed the fish and watch them come and eat in front of the cam. So it was something we mentioned before, and I really don't think it would be that hard to set up. but I think you'd have to like make sure you're making enough money to offset the costs, so it wasn't like eating into your
Yeah.
pocketbook. It'd be cool to have and be fun. Because there was a place like that, a site like that years ago that you could go on there and you could pay, and I think you could feed like you could drive ROVs around underwater, and I think you could feed fish and stuff like that.
That's
But it didn't last for very long, so I don't know. Maybe the ROI wasn't worth it in the long run. A lot of the underwater stuff isn't.
yeah. But at the same time, you look at the way social media is now used, and I think that could make a difference too. If you
Right.
could get it to blast out on social media, then you'd have a better chance of something like that working.
Yeah. And that's like, one of the things too is, with we want to bring AI into everything, but with AI and stuff like that too, it definitely simplifies and can help out a lot of that stuff, and can probably even tell you, hey, where the best place to put it, and source all the parts and do everything for you. And all you got to do is just type in a little bit and you're good to go. Yeah.
Let's ask the guys at Deep if we can put a little fish feeder on their
Yeah. Right.
habitat.
Hey, we got an idea here for you guys. That doesn't hurt to ask. I'm gonna bring up a couple webcams here that we found here, because as we show these off, I want to talk a little bit about like here's the first one. I found quite a few, and it's like, man, which ones do I show? Which ones don't I show? Because it was like, there's a big old fish going on right now. If we can get to it. And so, yeah, this one's
Utopia Village.
Yeah. And I got a couple different ones from Utopia. Like there's a giant fish that just swam by right before I went live on here. And so that's, not much to be said about it. It is what it is. It's a webcam underwater. But when we start talking about underwater habitats and stuff, which is really what we're here to talk about, is how does that play in with ASC and stuff. And if you've got, sorry, squirrel, there's a good fish. If you've got webcams that you like out there, go ahead and drop them in chat, or like afterwards when you're watching this later, link them in there, because like Babe was saying, ASC used to have a resource page where I had a bunch of cameras on there, but the problem was a lot of them would like cut out or like die out, and then we have to constantly update it. And what I really enjoyed was what Aquarius used to have some cams on the habitat. I used to watch those all the time. I tried to search to see if any of them were still running, but I couldn't find any. But that's what I'm saying with underwater habitat. You've already got power, you've already got maintenance, you've already got everything you need to run cams, and you've got a structure that hopefully is inviting to the marine environment. So it's like a prime place to be putting cameras all around. You can have cameras pointing down, cameras pointing up, cameras pointing all around, because sometimes I just want to look at that and look up at the water and stuff like that too. So it's one of those things where I think that you can even have like 3D cams set up on top looking all around. And I mean, your options are there with a structure like that. So I'm going to kill this one here and pull up some more.
Look at that current and wave action in that one.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of movement going around there.
I just treat these like the same way, for my own Instagram page. Most of the stories I put up are something that I imagine looking out an underwater habitat. I'm like, this is another scene that I would like to see there,
right.
Or something similar to it. That's always the way I've treated my story section of my Instagram page.
And I think that's part of the problem, for us at least, is we're so passionate about underwater habitats and wanting to live in one and be in one and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with that. So I got a few of them that are like, so that one was like, out in the open. But I got a few from aquariums, which the ones I like aquariums ones is it's a controlled, so you're going to have good lighting, you're going to have good visibility on fish and stuff like that. And this one, is the Aquarium of the Pacific. And nice thing is it's still kind of light over there, but like I said, it doesn't necessarily matter. And I'm dropping all these links for all these ones in the chat. So if you're uh, people on X, unfortunately, it doesn't link to X, but on YouTube and Facebook, you get the links on there. So that's cool. And let's see who else we got. Oh, here we pull that down. I want to put another one up here. I'm not going to show this one because it's Miami and it's like the audio on it's horrible, but during the day, they've got some decent stuff going on it. The other ones I have is from the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and I'm going to drop one of those in here. I mean, I'm going to show one of them.
Yeah, I remember when my kids were little watching the Aquarius Reef Base live games. Of course, that was long before FIU got it, and they would always have a little blurb on their thing about when their missions were, when it would be live, and they would leave it live for a long time. And I remember eating dinner and stuff and making dinner, for my kids with that in the background, just so we could all sit and watch it.
Well, that's when I was in IT, it was like 15 years ago, wherever, when Fabian was doing his 31 days or whatever it was. I had that streaming all the time on my TVs in my office.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to get because I was just redoing the office. And I got it just up in time to get the TVs up so I could be sitting in my office all day and watching that. I got nothing done, but I love this camera, by the way. Just sitting here and watching these jellyfish is like so soothing. Well, if the link ever goes through, what? Facebook is having problems there. I know for a lot of people, this isn't what they want to hear, and it's pretty boring and stuff along those lines. But every once in a while, I enjoy doing one that's not 100% underwater habitat focused, but just bringing, because the focus with ASC obviously is that we want to bring more eyes on the ocean. And part of that is because of views like this. I mean, you see this stuff, and if this is like, you think this is beautiful and you want to see this on a regular basis, then you definitely want, you want to be part of what we're doing and live and work in an underwater habitat, because you get to see this day in and day out. You wake up to something like this outside your window. I mean, how can you not start with a great day? I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm wishful thinking there.
I like, of course, I love the beauty of it. We know that, but the other part is how much mechanical minded, I guess you could say, I am. So I love seeing more and more of the commercial divers and stuff posting videos and live feed, maybe not live feed. Well, it is at the time, but lives and video of some of the stuff they do, and their work day and stuff. And I'm like, yep. So I absolutely love that stuff.
Yeah. I see a Kirby Morgan helmet. I'm like, I'm there. Yep. Yeah. I was like, but yeah. So if this is something that, interests you and you think, is like, hey, I want more of that. We can definitely pull more webcams and do another one on this. Or I can turn it into a short podcast or whatever like that too. But I think the real focus on us doing this was to, again, highlight why ASC is trying to do what we're trying to do with, building underwater habitats. It's a multifaceted approach, but it's one is, and not to sound like we're big green people and stuff like that, but having more eyes on the ocean helps us protect it, keep it pristine, keep it clean in the process too. So, because always one of the big arguments that we get thrown at us is, hey, we do enough damage here on land, stay out of the oceans. Well, we're already in the oceans anyway. We're already dumping enough in there. We know that. So if we can start putting more and more eyes in there, whether that is recreational or professional, it doesn't matter. As long as we got more and more eyes on there, I think that's a good thing. And from the standpoint of a business owner here looking at it, if I'm going to have an underwater habitat out there in the water, I'm going to want to make sure that water is as clean and clear as possible. and has as much livestock around it as possible, because that's what people are going down there to see.
Yeah.
They're wanting the coral, they're wanting the fish, and so that's why it's important that, what we're doing and trying to do, and the others out there. I know Fabian Cousteau has talked about this as well, and that's part of his whole thing too. Is obviously he's more science minded, but he's basically said the exact same thing. Um, and I don't know Deep's take on the thing, but I can only assume it's the same. Like we're all in this for the same thing. Um, so that's why I encourage people to follow our content. If this is the first time you're seeing any of our stuff, welcome. This is we do live streams for one, just to let people know who ASC is and what we're trying to do, but also we have a record on hand going back years now, saying the same thing over and over again. That even though we evolved as a company and change, and over the years that people have been following us have seen slight design changes, and focus changes and stuff along those lines. It's always been, at the end of the day, to design and develop underwater places to work, visit, live, that anybody can come to, regardless if you're a 80-year-old woman. If you wanted to. I mean, we're not forcing people to come, because a lot of people are like, there ain't no way. There's no way I'm going to go underwater in one of those things. And I get that there's claustrophobia and stuff along those lines,
Oh, yeah.
but people wouldn't fly on airplanes for the longest time either, until it became second place. So that's kind of my sandbox there, or not sandbox, but my
Soapbox.
that's it. Yeah, my sandbox, my soapbox. Do you have anything you want to throw in on that conversation there?
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
using the same idea, cameras are the eyes, like you said, but it applies accountability as well as the ability to view the beauty and the things we want to see underwater, but it also it's accountability, because now you're being watched. And I'm not a Big Brother kind of fan, but at the
Right.
same time, like you said, we're already there, so people can view what's being protected, instead of what's being destroyed by it that way.
Yeah, and to your point, they're talking about all the cameras and stuff like that. On one of the shorts that I did a couple weeks ago, I kind of talked about the again, going back to AI, because it's all in the news and about that's all everyone wants to talk about. But what, partnering that with those cameras, what can it be finding out there? Because its eyes are watching 24/7, and it can see stuff. It can monitor, growth patterns in coral. It can, monitor on different wavelengths even than our eyes can physically see. So, what kind of, looking at it from the scientific aspect, even though that's not our focus, what kind of things can we be bringing to the table there by having a platform? And especially if we can keep the cost down, we can drop these platforms everywhere, and you've got eyes all over the world. But at the same time, you're offsetting that cost by, hey, somebody's coming down there to Airbnb it out, or you're taking a science research team down there, or it's just like a weekend scuba trip getaway. But it doesn't matter, because those cameras are always running. They're always pulling in information. And whether the world is watching or not, they're watching, and they're collecting data and information about it.
And there's already going to be people, down there with cameras anyways for
Right.
their socials and stuff. It's
Yeah.
already going to be a thing,
Yep.
regardless. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think this topic is kind of a no-brainer. And I say that, and I've said that about other things too, just because I feel like it's common sense, and it's going to happen because we're already doing it to some level. But once we were able to get, and I understand if you're, Aquarius did it for their expeditions, and I'd be curious on how many views and stuff they were getting off that type of stuff. But like you said, the cost is so low anymore. Even if you're only getting 5 views off of it, who cares? Just do it anyway, because somebody's going to turn it in. I'm going to tune it in. I'm going to be watching it. Even if it's on ASC platforms, I would still be, if I was sitting at home, I'd be tuning in and watching the things. There are more me's out there who are going to want to, I mean,
Yeah.
Babe, them.
Yeah.
It's going to be watching that stuff. And not even looking at it from a monetary value, just looking at it from a coolness, and just what it is. So I think that, without saying much here, which we said, we've just basically shown off that I think this is one of those areas where, underwater live cams are a future, and I think that they're going to do things that we're not even talking about here, and could possibly be a market all in itself too.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, you look at companies out there who have made their millions just developing cameras for Tesla cars. I mean, it could be the same thing. You're developing a whole new lens, a whole new camera, and stuff like that for underwater. Sure, we have some now, but when you start looking at a long-term permanent presence, or anybody developing those technologies now, I- not that I'm aware of, and so that could be another market that's being built because of underwater habitats. And we've talked in the past about all the different market and the new jobs that can be created because of underwater habitats, and this is just another one.
You hook those all those cameras up to, AI, uh, using an AI program. What are scientists going to be able to see or put together? You know, fish movements, according to temperatures and everything that you can get
Right.
recorded. It's insane what you'd be able to uh, scientifically find out that way.
You may somebody will see a Meg swim by, and it'll make
Yeah.
Abigail's day because you get to see that. Or but to that point, we have no idea what's down there. I mean, to this day, we're still finding new sea life every time we go down in depths and stuff like that. So if we got permanent eyes watching, how many more things are we going to be able to document? How many anomalies are we going to see? Um, and even out there to the fringe, stuff like that, underwater flying objects. I mean, we've talked about that before too.
Yeah.
Who knows what kind of weird stuff we're going to catch? And we won't until you have the odds of randomly catching something when you're diving someday versus having a 24/7 camera pointed at hot spots or known areas that you want to keep eyes on. I mean, I'm sure the government already knows all this stuff and has it all documented, but that's not the point.
But I mean, I don't think I'm naive enough to think that there's not already cameras running 24/7 in certain places right now anyway.
Right.
So because I mean, it'd be silly to think that deep's going to drop one of those habitats without cameras on it, or Fabian.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, you're
Yeah.
going to have cameras on it. It's going to be a no
Even if
brainer.
even if it's for their own internal use only
Right.
and for
Right.
their own monitoring. I mean, you're
Yep.
going to have that to watch your divers and stuff along those lines, but
Yep.
it doesn't take anything to flip that switch and open it up to the world.
Because
And
that's what Aquarius did.
yeah,
But back then it was a lot more expensive to do.
sure, sure. And you had the bandwidth issues and the satellites and all that kind of stuff. Now I say with stuff like Starlink, which would be $50 a month. I mean, it's a why not?
Yeah.
So cheap, and you can go out and buy a webcam you can buy Walmart webcam for $30 and put it in a glass container with a Raspberry Pi for another $50, $100, whatever like that. And then $50 a month. I mean, you're got less than $500 into something, and you could be doing it right now. But that's for another time and another story, or is it? But anyway. But talking about us and talking about ASC, if you do want to get involved or do want to follow us, we do have a website. It's atlanticseacolony.com. You can go check us out there. All of our socials are on that. We're on most of them. The bigger ones, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. Where else are we? That's pretty much about it. X.
Yeah.
Those are the main ones. And then we post to and we go live and stuff along those lines. YouTube, obviously. Also, we do a podcast as well, and this will be turned into a podcast. All the lives get turned into podcasts, but also the podcast. And actually, talking about ASC evolving over time and changing stuff like that. This last week, I moved the podcast, so we have an audio podcast, and if you're on certain platforms like Spotify, you can watch a video format too. Well, it was going to colonize the ocean, the YouTube channel, because we had one, but it's just in a podcast format. Well, I started taking the video format and putting it on the Atlanta Sea Colony, the ASC YouTube as well. So trying that out. If that starts getting a lot more viewers, I may go deeper in on the shorts, which is every Monday I put out like a 5 to 7 minute long video talking about a subject really quickly and going over it. So we may go deeper into that. They could become longer format videos with more information and more graphics and on that if people are watching those. We'll see. And then on Fridays, I put out an AI driven podcast on a topic that's usually longer. It's usually around 30 minutes or so, but it's usually on the using Google's notebook that to create an AI podcast of two people talking about a subject in depth. And sometimes it pulls information from interesting places to get some concepts and ideas out there that isn't in the original document, but you still can learn something off that. So unless there are some people out there that are super adverse to AI, it can be some good content on there as well. So that transpires over on Colonize the Ocean. So you get at least 2 podcasts a week, sometimes 3. We've also got Discord, which if you're involved in any type of ocean stuff whatsoever, that's the place to go. Obviously, maybe we were talking, there are some changes coming to Discord. We don't know how it's going to affect as far as verification processes and stuff like that goes. But in the meantime, it is a cool place to go and just talk to different people who love the ocean, whether it's living on it, like the seasteaders, or living below it, or just boating and stuff along those lines. We've got tons of different categories out there for that. And lastly, we do have a Patreon where, coinciding with Colonize the Ocean, the podcast, every Monday I put a poll out that coincides with that podcast for you guys to take totally free. You don't have to pay us a cent to go take those polls. And I'll go over that here in a second. But we do have paid tiers as well. So if this is something that you're passionate about or you want to be involved with, or you just, you got money burning a hole in your pocket, hey, go join us over there. We got 3 different tiers. We've got a few subscribers over there right now, which is Brian Acosta, Babe, Adam, and my dad. Right now on the free tier, we've got quite a few more members that have been taking that are there for different reasons. So like I say, your name will get up here. It'll be at the end of the show, all that fun stuff as well. Go check it out. With that being said, the one thing I did forget to mention is if you have been watching for a while, that Adam is usually with us and has not been with us for the last few episodes. He was going to join us tonight, but today is his birthday. So happy birthday, Adam. If you're watching this now or later or whenever, or if you happen to follow him or know him, shoot him a message. It is his birthday. I think he's like 50 this year or something. I'm not sure.
53, 55.
Something like that. Yeah. He's wearing it well.
Yeah.
But his body's starting to give out on him. So we're hoping we have another year with Adam. But one like equals one prayer. No, he's not that old. But no, it is his birthday, so that's why he's not here. So hopefully he'll be with us next month when we're doing another one. Hopefully we'll have Abigail back with us next month as well. All that being said, Babe, do you have anything you want to throw in there before we close it off?
I was just going to say, if people like to see the ocean, there was several different cameras through that site, and one of them is the frying pan watchtower.
Yes.
And the other day when I was on that camera, not on it, watching it, there was more than a dozen sharks right there, and big sharks, not like little, 2 to 3 footers. They were 6+ feet. They're some good size. So it's cool, and what sharks sell, right? So
yeah.
Thought that would be cool.
I was going to show that off on here, but for some reason their website doesn't allow you to live stream their site. So
Gotcha.
I saw that as live stream, so it blocked me from showing it. So wasn't able to show that. But yeah, we're going back into it, even though I've already closed. But yeah, the frying pan is one of the cool ones because I was on there the other day as well. And there's like 3 giant sharks just like swimming around right in front of the camera, like, oh, this is cool. But we also talked about, our last meeting is like how terrifying that place is as well. Because it's like tetanus waiting to happen with sharks waiting around at the bottom for you. So you're going to get yourself cut and have to get some tetanus shots.
They've done a lot of work to it now.
Or fall in the water and get eaten alive. I don't know which one it is, but you're right. They have definitely tried to work on it. And it is it's an experience. Yeah, I mean, you got to get out there by helicopter. I think that's the only way. I mean, maybe you go out by the boat.
Yeah, they can go out by boat because he has people haul stuff out there by boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
the couple guys I've seen go out there and do YouTube content was about helicopter and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be amazing to get on top of that thing in the middle of the night and just like,
That, he's got on there and in storms and stuff, went out on the
yeah,
helicopter pad, and so it's really neat. But I don't know if he's got lights. I've never checked it in the dark. I don't know if he's got lights on those cameras right now,
mm,
and if they have been able to see anything anyway.
right.
So, yeah.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
So everybody can just chill out a second while I'm looking up the if it'll even let me.
He doesn't know us, but I've watched his stuff for a while, and he puts quite a bit of content on his socials, just about everything going on at the tower. So it seems like a neat experience if that's something you want to do.
Yeah, there's definitely no cameras. It's black as all get out
Yeah,
right now.
I figured it probably would be.
Yeah, pretty dark.
Check it in the daytime.
Yeah.
East Coast, America, USA, East Coast.
Yeah,
time.
so it's like right now it's 9 p.m. out there. But saw a bunch of people hopped in here. Hope you guys enjoyed the content on this one. Like I said, we're always open to ideas as well as we're closing out here on topics to discuss and talk about as far as when it comes to underwater habitats. And we're not afraid to shy away from the sea setting stuff since we are friendly with them as well to talk about that. It has been a while since we've talked with any seasteaders. Maybe I need to get a hold of some of them and get them back on here as well. Over on YouTube, I did put together a 5-hour long seasteading compilation, whereas all the interviews we've done with the seasteaders over the years, I put into a 5-hour long compilation video. So if you want to bite that off, you're more than welcome to. I don't think anybody will, but you can. There are chunks you can jump into. I'm going to timestamp it. I've been meaning to do that. Get there, timestamp it so you guys can go in there because we've got interviews with Carly, Mitchell, Ben, and who's the other guy? From Ocean Builders, originally with Ocean Builders, like Chad with Ocean Builders, back before Ocean Builders even had what they have now. Is like early on, so it was like really cool. Some archive stuff there, just with the whole sea setting group too. So that's fun. I'll probably put some compilation videos if there's other stuff if people want to see. Like I said, please let us know what stuff you guys are wanting to see from us, want to hear from us. Babe and I are actively meeting weekly to discuss ASC and how we can move things along. And we got some cool ideas from some stuff. And we would love to for all you to tag along with us through this journey and this story that we're trying to create here. So again, I'll throw it up there. Follow our socials, follow us over at ASC LNSC Colony. And
if you just jumped in, check out the comments because there's a bunch of underwater live stream links.
Yeah, I put a bunch. I think eight or 9 links in the chat there too, for you guys to go check out. Like I said, if you've got any of your favorites, send them our way. We'd love to see them. That being said, I think we're going to end it there. Let everybody get back to their life. And thank you very much, Babe, for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys soon.